First of all, again, thank you so much, everybody, to come here and to be able to join us. It's an amazing thing to have people from all over the world. Today, we are going to talk about what is Bitcoin and what is blockchain. This webinar is going to be recorded again, and this webinar is going to be taught again in Spanish the next Thursday at the same time. Okay, let's start with what is Bitcoin and what is blockchain. I'm gonna ask Fran to please turn off the cameras of everyone. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay, hello. I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Dulce Villarreal. I am developer advocate for RSK. Like a lot of you know, RSK is a smart contracts platform. Just a little about me. I am Mexican, and this is like my dark side. It's not true, just a joke. Something to share with you. I am very passionate about blockchain technology and Bitcoin. In that way, we and myself and a few friends, we have a Blockchain Mexico Facebook group. We started just 100 now. Nowadays, we are more than 5,000. And I also love hackathons. For a while, I was kind of addicted to hackathons. And this is a photo of the Startup Boost North America Hackathon. It's a hackathon on wheels. And I also love tacos, of course, because I'm Mexican. And I love cooking. I love cooking for my friends and for my family. And also, of course, I'm a foodie. Also, Tequeria is a nonprofit of Latinos in Tech, where I am chapter lead of San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm also leading the initiative to have a chapter here in Mexico City. Also, I love sports. I play handball. I love roller skate. And what I love about roller skate is that I learned that doesn't matter how many times you fell down, you have to get it back and keep going. Let's start. What you are going to learn today is money as a language, the money function, hash, computational puzzles, proof of work, Hashcash, and blockchain as a database. Today, I'm going to do a technique of learning, of teaching. We are going to start from what is Bitcoin. Nowadays, we can say that Bitcoin is a digital cryptocurrency based in blockchain. Simple ideas. Conforming, we are going to advance in the class or in this webinar. We are going to having again and again this question: what is Bitcoin and what is Bitcoin? And then we are going to have a technical definition. Okay. Bitcoin is a digital currency, it's a protocol, it's a network peer-to-peer, it's transparent and incorruptible. It's like the basic that we know, right? I like to say like Bitcoin is like a kind of a son of, or a daughter maybe, of engineering, economics, and math, specifically cryptographic. And what makes this technology so amazing is because it's also very complex, right? There is a joke like about Bitcoin is everything about game theory that economists doesn't understand, everything about engineering that engineers doesn't understand either, and everything about cryptographic that mathematicians don't understand. Then it's kind of hard to learn blockchain and learn Bitcoin, but and sometimes it's overwhelmed, but we don't have to be overwhelmed because it's such a complex topic. I want to compare the Satoshi white paper with the first paper of Einstein or Newton. It was just like 10 pages, but are so complex. These topics are so complex that it's okay if we don't understand in the beginning a lot of things, but little by little we are getting in a more advanced level, right? Let's start from economics. Like I say, this is like the topics that we are gonna talk today. Probably you have heard about Andreas Antonopoulos. I really recommend, if you are just new in the field, to watch their videos, even buy the book or read the book of Mastering Bitcoin. And what I like about Andreas' proposal is that he say money is a human communication of value. And he say also that money is a kind of pre-existing writing. It's a communication of how humans communicate. It's a system of social relationships, but also has economic consequence. Like, I'm gonna put an example. For instance, indigenous population in Latin America, they use cacao as money. And nowadays we can use dollars. And it's a way that we interact with other people all the time to exchange value. In the end, we exchange value all the time. And what are the functions of money? When you study economics, like I did, all the teachers teach you that it's a medium of exchange. That means you can exchange things with money. It's a unit of account that is like $1, $2, $3, etc. But also a store of value. The dollar is a good store of value, but if we saw in retrospective, we have problems with store of value. And also, I want to add that now the new functions of money will be transportable. This is one reason digital money, it's very important because it's transportable, but not only location-wise. Like, we cannot transport money, gold, for example. Gold is money. We cannot transport gold that easy, right? But in the future, we will see, like, we cannot send dollars in a programming script, but we can send Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies in a script, in a program. And I would like to add, normally, one new function of the new money will be transportation too. Like I say, I'm from Latin America, and I want to say what happened in Latin America with money. Money in Latin America is not the best money, I would say. We have financial crisis, we have corruption, dictatorships, we have a lot of people on bank, we have a lack of financial inclusion. You can see the examples of Venezuela here in the right. You can see the inflation of Argentina, that basically we need to cut the graph or the chart. Basically, is we Latinos know how important have a good money is so important, right? Let's talk about a little of history of money and accounting, because this is important. Let's say Henry VIII, the King of England, he was the only person, and his team, who own money. Basically, one single person decide who has money and who own money, or who has a loan with the king, and he can change everything in the ledger, right? Now, in 1494, Luca Pacioli created double spending, right? And now this amazing technology of 1492-94 is the same technology that we are using nowadays. Like, yeah, literally we are using the same technologies that like centuries ago, the double entry bookkeeper. But I think we can do better, and Satoshi proved it, right? And how it works, this technology is basically a centralization of technology. All the people have to trust a single person who has a ledger, or the ledger in this case. Later, we have distributed ledger technology. That means two persons. I'm gonna read the chat. Okay, thank you. Two person has access to this ledger, right? And this is the difference between decentralized technology, such as blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, and other distributed ledger technology, also known as a DLT. Yeah, this is basically the difference, right? The history of Bitcoin, it's important to know about cyberpunks. I don't know if you heard about or read about cyberpunks, but in the 70s and the 80s, this group of people started to realize that it was a problem of surveillance, it was a problem with governments and banks, and they started having a mail list where everybody protect their identity with cryptography. Basically, they use engineering plus mathematics to start having a communication, total private communication, and start talking about. This is super interesting. I will really recommend read about it. And this email list of cyberpunk, one of the person who is in this list of 50 people create Bitcoin. The name of the pseudonym that he, she, or they uses, of course, like you know, is Satoshi Nakamoto. I would like you read this because it's very important to understand kind of the philosophy that is back in Bitcoin technology. I'm gonna let you read. Then with all this background, we have Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is a digital cryptocurrency that now looks like can change or is changing and disrupting the world already. And with Bitcoin, we can send money peer-to-peer. For example, I'm gonna give a personal example. The other day I was traveling because I've been being a digital nomad, and I tried to send money to my mom. And suddenly the app canceled my account without no reason, really, no reason. They just cancel. I send the money, call to my mom and say, hey mom, I already sent you money for groceries or whatever. And she said, okay, perfect. And then after one day later, say, hey, we delete your account if you don't send me this information. It's like, oh my gosh. And it was just very centralized decision. And they want like more information, like my passport. And I know it's not your customer. I have a banking background, but it was a kind of frustrating, like we don't have control or financial freedom. And what Bitcoin gave us is financial freedom. Then I just send the money to my brother send the money to my mom. With Bitcoin, it takes like literally 6 blocks, is like maybe 30 minutes, and the money was in Mexico. It's super easy to use. And if somebody never used Bitcoin, or somebody here in this amazing group of people don't have a Bitcoin account, we are gonna have a webinar about how to set up your own wallet. I'm gonna send you few Satoshis. Nowadays we cannot send Bitcoins anymore, but happy to help with people who want to set up your own wallet, your first wallet. Now, with all the things that we know now, we can say that Bitcoin is the first decentralized, anonymous, immutable, and global currency. Anyone from anywhere around the world with an internet connection and software can be part of the Bitcoin network. Then we are advancing in our understanding of Bitcoin. I just want to say something, something funny. Some people are very follow the rules that Bitcoin with capitalization is just for the network, the protocol, or Bitcoin core, and Bitcoin without capitalization is for the cryptocurrency, and they use BTC too. If you see that, it's because some people use in a different in that way. Okay. What are the advantages of Bitcoin? I think nowadays we know it's an open public ledger without intermediaries, no banks, no government, it's borderless. We can send money to everywhere. For example, the other day, somebody sent $400 million and they pay like $1 a fee. It was just kind of ridiculous, because in a bank it would take like a week, and it's so expensive, right? Also, it's programmable and it's no permission. Talking a little more about the history of Bitcoin, I highly recommend read the white paper of Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system by Satoshi Nakamoto. This is the white paper that he or she or Satoshi sent to the 50 people in the Cyberpunk email list, right? And this is the reason we don't know nowadays if it's a person or it's a group of persons, right? Don't worry if you don't understand a half. It's totally fine. I read it like at least 5 times, and I still read it sometimes, and I like to see if I understand better. But really highly recommend. The first blog was mine in January 3rd in 2019. We can see here the information. We have the blog 0. Here's the link. If you go to Blogspot Explorer.com-b-0, you can see the hash, the next blog, the time, the difficulty, transactions, total BTC, everything. And you can see the Merkle, the root, the nonce, everything is there, right? The first transaction was in 12 January, and Satoshi sent to Fine some Satoshis, like I think it was like 40 or something. And it's interesting because he started running Bitcoin one day before, and he posted in Twitter, right? Here's the information from the first transaction. We can see it was like 50 BTC. Nowadays that is a lot, but not in that days, it was just a little. And you can see the size, the weights, this kind of things. If you don't understand in the beginning, it's totally fine. We are gonna learn, and we in RSK we have the strategic webinars where we are gonna teach more technical topics in the following webinars. Blockchain is also a database, right? And there is different kind of database. There is centralized database, like for example, let's say Facebook, they have a central database and they storage everything. What happened with central database? It's more vulnerable, you know, like we know how many times a hacker hacked a data center, and suddenly all of passwords and photos got exposed. And this is not the first time that happened. It's happening and again and again and again. And because it's one single node or a central data point, it's easy to attack because you have to attack only one place, right? There is decentralized, like in the second image, and then you have more nodes. Imagine kind of in the 70s, where everybody have a little server in their office, but only for a corporation. And the distributed layers, you have a lot, but also these nodes can connect with everyone. There is kind of different distributed layers. Some are anonymous and some are not anonymous. For example, anonymous or pseudonymous could be Monero. Monero is totally anonymous, or blockchain or Bitcoin that is pseudonymous with a pseudonym. And also could be like the ones that are required to know your customer, such as Corda, R3, that is a layer just for banks. And nobody else can use it, right? Then this is kind of how it works now, the distributed system for a layer. Everybody has a copy, right? And in simple graph, how it works, we can see like it's a blockchain with different blocks, right? Like the image show. But what has these blocks? Each block has a data, a hash and the hash of the previous block. But what is a hash? A hash is a fingerprint. I'm gonna check the chat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can even read the white paper of Satoshi Nakamoto any day. I volunteer for that too, and we can do more decentralized way to have these webinars too. Then, like I say, the hash is a print for this information. Let's cryptography and hash. Cryptographic hash functions are mathematical operations run in digital data. But what is that? And what is SHA-256, right? That, like this kind of thing is when everything starts being like complicated. And I'm gonna show you a demo. I'm gonna post this later in the chat, or even send an email with this information when you can have all the links from this webinar. If I put here hello, the hash, the SHA-256 hash, create this hash from this word. And for example, if I say the Constitution, or the Constitución Política, the Constitution of any countries, and I start putting the whole Constitution here, doesn't matter if it's just one word or the whole Constitution, it's only gonna be the same number or the same long hash. It's exactly the same number of bytes. You can even post in some tools a video, an image, and you can hash kind of everything. Let's make an example of developers, a kind of example. Hello. If I put hello here, we have this hash that starts with 18 and finish with 1969. If I just change this with an exclamation point, it's totally different. I would like to say, like, if it's like a black magic box where you put information and then that gives you a hash. This is for a very simple way to understand. Let's say, what is a block? In this demo of Andrew Brown, we have the block one and we have a nonce. For now, we are not touching the nonce right now, just to be for the sake of time. Let's say we have hola a todos. That means hello everybody, right? And we have this hash, but here is like, no, this is, you can see the red, and what this tool showed, oh, no, this information is not really trusted, because before you print something in the blockchain, such as Bitcoin, you have to mine. Let's mine this information. And now it's finally green. What happened in the blockchain, or in Bitcoin specifically, we have miners who are doing computational puzzles to validate transactions, right? Basically, this is like a block, and our block will have, again, a data, that is in this case the hello word, a hash, and a hash of a previous block. Okay, now let's see how it works on blockchain. I'm gonna start changing things here, and I'm gonna put hola one, and this is like, no, this is not true. But if I start mining, it's gonna start getting validating. And you can see that now the previous block is 0000, and this is the hash. But the next block is not the same. What happens if I mine again? By mining is, the block number 2 or the miner of the block number 2 is gonna check all the transactions from the beginning. That means also it's gonna check the block number 1. a lot of people say like Bitcoin blockchain is very secure because the thermodynamic. And what that means, the thermodynamic energy, is all the computational resources that miners spend in validating transaction. Perfect. And now you can see here 0.00041C here, but also here is the hash of the previous block. And now we have here a hash. This is the hash of the block number 2. And it looks like it's not necessarily the same. Let's check. And it's going to start mining. And we are going to see with this example how the previous hash is this, and here the previous hash is this. We can continue. This is a very funny experiment. I would say, like, I recommend everybody to do it. Even now that you are at home, you can do it with your kids and have fun, and with your family. It's super fun to do it. And if you want to become an ambassador and give this presentation around the world, we are going to open eventually a program for people who want to also teach blockchain and Bitcoin. Here's mining. Like you see now, the hash number 1 is the previous hash of the block number 2, and this is exactly the same than this here, right? Perfect. Exercise that you can check is a distributed ledger. When you have the peer A and the peer V. Normally, the cryptographers use Alice and Bob, because one of the papers in the 70s used Alice and Bob, and they are not very creative, and they still use Alice and Bob. But yeah, you can use this if you want to check. I'm gonna check the chat questions just to make sure everything's okay. Okay, I'm sorry about the connection. Somebody else has a connection problem. Okay, then now we understand what is a hash, right? It's a mathematical operation that runs digital data. Basically, it's kind of magic with mathematics. Then the Bitcoin network or the Bitcoin blockchain is, these miners run nodes. Normally, it's a network of nodes. The network so-called computer nodes make the blockchain. Okay. And now, what is blockchain? Blockchain for now is a database, a shared, immutable, and upper layer for recording the history of transaction. The first use of blockchain is transactions, such as money. And we can say, like, now we have a lot of nodes here, and they share transaction with them, between them. And now, after all the knowledge that we already learned today, we can have a more technical definition of what is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an exceptional, successful e-cash system based in the equivalence of time equal money. Clients nodes in Bitcoin are peer-to-peer network invest computational time in order to mine money in form of a currency called Bitcoin or BTC. The operational cost that we talk, it was a scratch of puzzles or mining. In Bitcoin today, nodes mine coins by solving these puzzles. Some people say that Bitcoin spend a lot of energy. And yes, it's true, spend a lot of energy and it's secure for thermodynamics, that the energy for mining and secure the network, but also banks are not, also banks spend a lot of energy. There is a lot of researches about energy. The University of Oxford also has very good papers about it. Then in conclusion, I would say there is other industries who use more energy than Bitcoin, such as meat industry, banking industry, social media industry. Then it's not really, I guess, it's a good argument, but in my personal opinion, it's not enough, because there is on industries who spend more energy than Bitcoin. And this is also the reason why in RSK we are working to create a platform to give superpowers to Bitcoin and to have high scalability payment systems for everyone. But we are going to explain what is RSK later. But not everything is perfect. Like I say, it's a super new and complex technology. The price of Bitcoin, like you know, it's super volatile. The volatility of Bitcoin is crazy. One day is 20K, another day is 5K. You can lose your private keys. There is no budget protections. There is no physical form. If there is not internet, maybe you cannot use it. You cannot go to the supermarket right now and pay with Bitcoin. And for sure, there is a lack of UX, and the transaction per seconds are still low in comparison with the transaction per seconds that Visa or MasterCard or eGlobal they have, right? There is a lot of things to do in Bitcoin, but still it's really, really good technology that it's making a revolution all over the world, because it's peer-to-peer. For the first time, we can open a financial account and just send money to every part of the world. I'm going to say also what is Ethereum. Ethereum, it's a decentralized platform that runs smart contracts, applications, and everything. Like, you know, the only thing that you can do with Bitcoin is like log time contracts. And then Vitalik became with this idea of Ethereum, and that Ethereum has it's a Turing complete machine, right? A virtual machine that allowed to run smart contracts. And in the same way, RSK has the same, but with some benefits. Let's see what is RSK. RSK is the first open source smart contracts platform powered by the Bitcoin network. When I say powered by the Bitcoin network, means that the transactions are validated by the same miners that are validating the Bitcoin transaction. That nowadays, for example, the last 2 months, we have between 40 and 60% of the miners, Bitcoin miners, validating RSK transaction. The RSK goal is to add value and functionality to the Bitcoin ecosystem by enabling the smart contracts and near instant payments and higher scalability. That's it for right now. And now we are gonna have a Q&A, and I'm happy to listen. Also wanna say, like, we are gonna have other talks to talk about more cryptographic, private, and public keys, elliptic curves, and other kind of stuff. Like right now, it's more an introductional topic, but we are gonna talk about more technical things such as UTXO, run your smart contracts in RSK, but we want to start today very simple. And now I'm happy to go with questions about these topics. Oh, such a good question. What is the difference between Ethereum and RSK? Okay, one of the founders Oh, RSK is an open source platform, but IOV Labs is it's organization that helps to run RSK as an open source platform. And one of the founders of IOV Labs is Sergio Lerner. Sergio Lerner was a programmer or an engineer who was working in the Bitcoin core development since the very beginning, but also he audit with other of our IOV Labs. He audit Monero and Ethereum, and he also created the first Turing complete virtual machine before Vitalik. Having said that, and with all the knowledge that Sergio Lerner has about Ethereum, he said, oh, we can use the virtual machine of the Java virtual machine of Ethereum to create something for Bitcoin without creating a new token and using again the mining power of the Bitcoin mining network. What is the difference is, for example, you can do a smart contracts, Diego, in Ethereum in RSK. The benefit sometimes is like it's super cheap in comparison with Ethereum. In RSK, the price are sometimes much better. I don't have the presentation of the benefits right now. Also, it's faster. It's 6 times faster at least than Ethereum. And I think in the future, with Ethereum 2.0 in the roadmap, we can see that a lot of apps and projects that are running in Ethereum 1.0 can move to RSK very easy. That means that you can port your dApps project, any architectonical software project from Ethereum to RSK. There is few technical difference, but our team is happy to help with software development for startups. Do you have any more questions? Oh, somebody asked about UTXO. Okay, in order to explain how works UTXO, we have to understand, first of all, elliptic curves and private and public keys. And we can do a specific webinar for that. But for now, it's just introductory. Such a good question, Martin. And also now it's an open conversation. It's not just me answering questions. If somebody wants to say something, everybody's totally welcome, or to add something to my answers. I think my deformation as an economist sometimes make me think about geopolitics, and what is happening sometimes is we can see if Europe and Asia, like for example China and Russia, start using Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency, we can say that is possible, that Bitcoin can take that place. It's possible, everything is possible, but nobody has like a magic thing to have the answers. It's hard to say. Could be Bitcoin, could be another solution, could be RBTC, I don't know. Oh yeah, absolutely. You can test RSK for free. Something interesting is we have the same tools that Ethereum has, like a faucet, and then you can use a faucet. We are gonna have the next time how to set up a wallet, what is a wallet, what is a non-custodial and a custodial wallet, such as MetaMask or Nifty wallet, but also we are gonna use another custodial wallets. We are gonna have these webinars too. Yeah, totally. The wallets that I can recommend is BitPay, BRD are super simple. H is simple. I can make. I have all this information I can share with you. I'm gonna take note about it. And about Bitcoin, do you have any other questions? Oh, Jovan, that would be super cool. I think the zero knowledge proof is super interesting. It's one of my, I think it's one of the most fascinating technology nowadays. I think I cannot explain very technical in 10 minutes what is zero knowledge proof, but I can say an example that people can understand what is zero knowledge proof. Imagine you have a jewelry, and let's make an accountant example because we are talking about accounting today. Imagine there is a software that allows you to encrypt all your income and expenses from your accountant. That means your accountant he's going to be able to do your accounting without see any number. And it's crazy, right? It's like how my accountant is going to do my accounting without do maths in the numbers of way. When what is happening with zero knowledge proof is kind of you just prove the correctness that is correct computational of the operation that you are doing. This is one example. Imagine there is a software that allows your accountant to do your accounting without seeing your numbers. Other example could be for zero knowledge proof would be, imagine you have a box. You have a jewelry. You have your own jewelry shop. And one of the problems for people who make jewelry is like the employees can steal the diamonds. But what if you create a box when you can put your hands inside, touch with these gloves, the jewelries, create the jewelries, but you cannot take it off. It's basically what you do is you protect your data with cryptography. Happy to talk more about it, but for now we say like zero knowledge proof it's a cryptography that allow to do operations without operations without see the numbers, for instance. Yeah, it's really good question, Jovan. I'm gonna open the mic. Can you open the mics to somebody? If somebody want to talk instead just write, it's okay.
Hi, Dulce. This is Diego from Buenos Aires.
Hi, Diego. Nice to see you here.
No, I just wanted to say thank you for this chat. It was very interesting, and I mean, I am a totally beginner in the field, so happy to learn about this amazing technology. So thanks for the information you provide.
Oh, welcome. Yes, yeah, welcome. It's my pleasure, and it's one of my passions is to share my knowledge about Bitcoin and blockchain. 5 years ago, it was really hard to understand this technology, but nowadays there is people that we are working in advocacy and to make this simple to explain. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for my team. I want to say thank you to Solange, Sol is part of our team as a developer advocate. She is from Brazil. She's a rookie developer. And you can share. Thank you so much, Sol, to help. Francisco is also part of our marketing team, and you can start following us. Yeah.
Yes, those great talk. And I'd like to invite everyone to next Wednesday. You have a new webinar about how to create your first smart contract using Remix and MetaMask are Ethereum tools that you can use at RSK network. And it will be in different languages. We have in English, Spanish, and Portuguese, and each of them is in a different hour. So it's for everyone in every time.
Yeah, exactly what Sol say. Thank you so much, Sol, for saying that. If somebody want to just introduce yourself and say some words, feel free to do it. We are happy to listen to you guys and girls and folks.
Well, thank you, Dulce, for providing all this information. I'm from Mexico too. I have been studying blockchain since the last summer, so I know how it works, and for me, it is amazing. I am getting in love about this technology. I am a lawyer here in Mexico City, so my goal is to develop my own smart contracts and use them for my professionalism. So I am very glad to be here sharing with you all this information, and I really appreciate that you are sharing all this information together.
Oh, thank you so much, Octavio. First of all, everyone to being here. Yeah, yeah. Actually, last weekend we have a hackathon for lawyers. Maybe Francisco can explain. We have that in Argentina. IOV Labs is a global company. That means we are a remote distributed team. And Francisco, do you want to share what happened the last weekend with 2 weekends ago?
I just missed it.
Yeah, but it was in Argentina. It was hard. Francisco,
Yeah.
are you there? You can share a little about your experience with the lawyer last 2 weeks.
Yes, hi everyone. Well, I'm Francisco. As Dulce said before, I'm working at the marketing team. We're launching, well, as for today, all this new webinar series where we will be having approximately between 3 and 4 encounters per week. Well, this is the introductory one. So we will be, as Dulce said before, we will be doing it in different languages, in Spanish, in Portuguese also, for everyone who doesn't speak or doesn't understand quite well in English in a couple of days. So we'll be repeating it, and the ones who joined a little bit later can watch it afterwards in our YouTube channel. As far for the legal hackathon, it's the legal hackathon that it happens once a year in all the countries that want to organize it. We took the organization lead as far for what Argentina is meant, and we had like around 7 teams compound with between 5 and 10 lawyers, students, also accountants, developers, economists, and what we were looking for were creative solutions that would provide better legal services for the people, for sure, because here what happens mostly in Argentina is that the legal system and the judiciary system is usually very far away, and people doesn't quite understand it. What's the role of a lawyer? What's the role of a judge? What's the role of an attorney, and what they are doing? So people mostly doesn't know their rights. So we had a lot of cases. And we, with the 7 teams, just 2 of them used blockchain. One was for creating smart contracts for people when they start constructing their buildings. So every party that's participating well, it works kind of like a trust fund where you put some money on, and afterwards the people, well, the construction company builds a building. So once you have a smart contract, it's much easier for people to look after what they are doing with your own money. If they are investing it properly, if they are paying the providers or the suppliers the correct amount of money, and if that's they are also they are on time delivering what's necessary. Because, well, a lot of parties participate in the construction of a building, and a lot of also working unions and a lot of people. And the other one that used the blockchain was a group that wanted to create better solutions, and in order to provide better pro bono services where they would find lawyers that were willingly going to give their free times if they were specialized in a determined subject, for instance, family problems. Because here in Argentina, what happens with the pro bono cases is that they are delivered mostly to law firms that do business law, and they generally don't don't function or don't work for NGOs or for family problems, which are the most that need
¿Qué pasa,
probably.
bebé?
Yeah. Muchas gracias, Fran. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. Sometimes I forgot what language I should talk.
We appreciate
Thank you, Octavio. Yeah, just a quick remember, we have our developer portal and we just closed our grants program, but also we have an ecosystem fund. We are happy to work with entrepreneurs, people who have new ideas, and
Yes.
we want to support you guys and girls with any proposal.
Yes,
And
for
we
sure.
are we are happy
Oh,
to
Dulce.
interact with you guys. Yeah.
Yes, for the hackathons, but you're right now we're participating also for finding solutions for the COVID. You can follow us on our Twitter account. Our Twitter handle is RSK Smart, and there you can find information where we are participating and we're supporting a hackathon. It's a world hackathon, and also in Diego Gutierrez Aldivar, it's at Dieguito. He's the CEO of IOV Labs. You can also find information there.
Yeah, also we are gonna host a virtual hackathon when people mostly from Chile, but everybody can join. We are gonna start this Friday, and we are gonna again teach some things like how to win a hackathon, tools for hackathons. Sol is gonna teach smart contracts, and it's a 4 weeks hackathon that it's totally remote. It's totally for Spanish speakers. But everybody is welcome. Just that you can follow our social media, and also the other thing is we are going to have a webinar about blockchain use cases, but these blockchain use cases also are RSK use cases. We are going to talk about what we are doing as a company. Yeah, basically with that, I'm going to finish the webinar. If somebody doesn't have any more questions, to keep short our webinars in 1 hour.
Yes, for sure. I just want to quick saying that I already have an idea that I've just been developing myself. I mean, it has been hard because I am a lawyer, so I don't know like the background about coding. I just have the willing to start learning coding because I mean, I need to do this a lot. So I would like to share with you what is my idea, and for sure, I mean, if you are willing to work with entrepreneurs, I will be more than glad to present you my idea. It is a very technical idea, but I mean, I would like to use this technology to make this idea growing. I mean, I think that I have a very good idea. So yes, for sure, I will be very, very glad to share you this.
Yeah, of course. You can send me an email to Dulce at IOV Labs. I'm gonna just put it in the chat.
Okay, yeah, perfectly. Thank you so much, Dulce.
Also for developers, we have developers IOV Labs. I will recommend to send to both because it's just better. Everybody in my team can have it.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Octavio. Yeah, everybody can learn coding. I study economics, and I think if I can do it, you can do it too.
Thank you. Yeah, I am willing.
Thank you so much, everyone. Please stay at home, stay safe, and let's use this time to learn new things. Thank you so much, Angel. And thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you so much.
Bitte schön, Jovan. Bitte schön. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Aguanate. Bye-bye.
Bye, Dulce.
Bye, Dulce. Thank you.
Adios.
Bye, thanks.
Adios.
Thanks, Aguanate. Thank you, Nani.
Bye, Dulce.
Yeah, today we have some of our new employees taking this webinar, just an introduction. And I want to introduce Nani. Nani is our head of talent or recruitment. We are hiring. If somebody is interested, we are hiring a few positions. Yeah, thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Bye-bye, Dulce. Thank you.
Gracias, Pamela.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks, Dulce, for this great introductory webinar.
Thank you. Bye-bye.